are you looking now? The shadow of money and fame, like an umbrella on a rainy street. The magnitude and color of happiness varies from person to person. Some people feel lonely even in designer clothes, while others delight in a few fresh perilla leaves. One elderly person I know ran a junk shop his entire life. People used to ask, "What's the point of living like that?" But he said, "Every day I bring back to life someone else's discarded items. That's how I live, too." Those words resonated deeply with me. Having a lot doesn't necessarily mean happiness, and being poor doesn't necessarily mean unhappiness. Quote, "Happiness doesn't come from outside, it blossoms from within." Helen Keller. A memory's warmer than a name. We've always heard this saying. Tigers leave their skins behind when they die, but people leave their names behind. Is that why people believe they must succeed and leave behind a name? But does a name necessarily have to be remembered with honor to be valuable? Someone who quietly brings laughter to those around them and warms hearts. Even if such a name doesn't make it into the world's records, it will remain in someone's memory for a long time. Wouldn't a child's words, "Daddy, you're the best," at the family dinner table be a much warmer name than a grand stage in the world? Anecdote. American poet Maya Angelou recalled that, as a child, she overcame difficult times thanks to an unknown neighborhood store owner who always offered her warm encouragement and comfort. In her autobiography, the store owner is remembered as one of the greatest blessings of my life. Behind her great success lay a warm name unknown to the world. The shadow of money and fame, like an umbrella on a rainy street. The magnitude and color of happiness varies from person to person. Some people feel lonely even in designer clothes, while others delight in a few fresh perilla leaves. One elderly person I know ran a junk shop his entire life. People used to ask, "What's the point of living like that?" But he said, "Every day I bring back to life someone else's discarded items. That's how I live, too." Those words resonated deeply with me. Having a lot doesn't necessarily mean happiness, and being poor doesn't necessarily mean unhappiness. Quote, "Happiness doesn't come from outside, it blossoms from within." Helen Keller. Happiness of value, not price happiness, isn't something you steal from others or gain through comparison. Happiness isn't a number, it's a feeling. Some people feel lonely even with 10 billion won, while others are grateful for even a single lunchbox meal every day. We sometimes miss out on happiness, wondering, "Why do I only have this?" But conversely, the moment we say, "I'm glad I have this too," that small gratitude transforms into a profound peace. Anecdote. Mahatma Gandhi, the Indian independence activist, lived an extremely frugal life. He always consumed only the bare minimum of clothing and food, and appeared content with what he had. Those around him sensed a peace and contentment incomparable to material wealth. Gandhi said, "True wealth lies not in possessions, but in the ability to satisfy needs," and found great happiness in simplicity. Comparison is poison. Gratitude is a flower. A young friend said, "I get depressed just looking at social media. It seems like everyone else is doing well." But social media is a visual world, not real life. Some people swallow back tears behind smiling photos, while others feel empty in their shiny cars. Don't compare your life's background to someone else's. You have your own unique light, and that light will quietly illuminate your life. Quote, "A happy life begins the moment you stop comparing." Theodore Roosevelt. The shadow created by greed. The unhappiness I sometimes felt wasn't actually caused by what I didn't have, but by the desire to have more. At some point, seeing someone with more than I had made my own seem shabby, and seeing someone younger and healthier made my life seem faded. But one day, I looked in the mirror and said, "Still, I'm okay. As long as I'm still breathing and can smile at those around me, that's enough." Anecdote. When Alexander the Great asked him, "What do you want?" the philosopher Diogenes replied, "Don't block the shadow. He who is free from greed is freer than any king." The power of the mind to overcome reality. Of course, no matter how positively you try to think, reality sometimes weighs heavily on you. Illness, debt, and poverty are difficult to overcome with mere determination. But even within them, with the strength of the mind, a person can rise again. An elderly woman who has been selling noodles in a market for 30 years opens her shop at 5 a.m. every day, despite her sore knees. I asked, "Aren't you tired?" And she replied, "Life is like that. But if someone comes today and says they're warm, that's worth it." With those words, I learned a new appreciation for the world. Quote, "Man can only recognize himself through suffering." Russian author Dostoevsky. Love enough to exist. A person's name, job, home, and location may change, but there's something that remains constant, even as time and place change. That's love. And the value of existence itself. When a child says, "Mom, I didn't get anything done today," the mother replies, "But you're still the most precious thing to me." Even without accomplishments or roles, we are indispensable to someone. Anecdote. Beth from Little Women was always quiet, but she was the center of her family's love more than anyone else. Just by existing, her family was warmed. The miracle of today. We often worry about tomorrow and miss today. But life is only today. The past is a memory, and the future is only anticipation. If you were grateful this morning while drinking a glass of water, that day was already meaningful. If you looked into the eyes of a loved one and said, "Thank you," that day was unforgettable. Happiness isn't something grand, but a miracle contained in the smallest moments. Quote, "Today is the only time we have." Tal Ben-Shahar. Happiness is in my pocket. Don't say, "I'm unhappy." That's not the situation. It's how my heart feels. When my heart is weak, even sunlight looks like tears. But when my heart is strong, tears shine like sunlight. There are people who smile even in difficult circumstances, and there are people who suffer even in better circumstances. Ultimately, happiness is not a condition, but an interpretation. When you expand your heart, you will discover that there is warm happiness in your pocket right now. Quote, "Happiness is not in the future, but in the present. It is a present tense feeling found within." Thich Nhat Hanh. Epilogue. Like spring rain. Spring rain isn't noisy for some, but quietly, yet deeply, it moistens our hearts. I hope this writing gently seeps into someone's heart like spring rain. Today, you too deserve to be happy. Sometimes a small act of kindness can make someone's whole day. Alexander McCall Smith.